Hey, Online Empire Academy members, this is Dean Soto, and I wanted to do this video for you on how do you clone yourself and why, if you're not outsourcing right now, you are wrong. and I shouldn't say you're wrong. That's kind of messed up. But no, for me, the reason I'm even making this in the first place is because I get so many people pinging me saying, Dean, how do I outsource? Hey, Dean, where do I go to outsource? Hey, Dean, how do I build my business? How do I grow my business? Things like that. And the thing is, the first and most important point most important thing is to really have a mindset shift when it comes to outsourcing. Okay, you literally want to clone yourself, and a lot of us, myself included, tend to think that what we do is so special that we could never, ever outsource it to anybody else. Okay, and when I mean outsourcing, you're going to see what I mean. Okay, so it's going to be very quick, a very quick video, introductory video, mainly to give you a little paradigm shift. Okay. All right. So, who the heck am I? If you've never been a part of the Online Empire Academy, which you should be, who the heck am I? I'm Dean. I'm a family. I have a family of 8. Yes, I have 6 beautiful kids as of recording this. This is me with my kids over at IHOP not too long ago. And yes, they are getting pancakes. That's why they're so happy. But I'm a full-time entrepreneur. Didn't always used to be that way. I've been in full-time entrepreneur for about 2 years now. And the cool thing about it is I run an Amazon dropshipping business. I run a software marketing business. I buy and sell assets, physical assets, a whole bunch of different things that make me money every month. And then I also have online training programs through the Online Empire Academy and other means as well. And all of this is, I would say, 95 to 99% outsourced. Okay, even some of my training, at least the infrastructure is outsourced, and I'm currently looking into outsourcing even my training. So all that being said, I am cloning myself every day, and there's a very good reason for that. Right there, my family. I love my family. I want to be able to not just be with them, but to do things that better them. Okay, and most people say, well, I just want to have more time with my family. Well, I want to have more time with my family, but what if my family needs me to be available to help them with their school, because we homeschool? What if they need me to be available to help with church stuff or whatever? I'm available for that. And teaching them how to do business, things like that allows me to do that. Okay. And so really my question is for you, what are you doing right now that if you had a clone, you could teach them how to do it without you, how you could literally clone yourself and move them into doing whatever it is you're doing? Okay. And now you're probably thinking, because a lot of the Online Empire Academy listeners, they tend to sell on Amazon, they tend to sell on eBay, e-commerce type stuff. Probably thinking that there's no way, especially if you're doing retail arbitrage, you're going to these retail stores and doing all this stuff, or online arbitrage, finding things online that you can resell, or wholesale or private label or whatever, all those things, that there's no way that you could have someone do what you're doing right now. And I would argue that that is not the case. Okay, Richard Branson said, from a young age, I learned to focus on the things that I was good at and delegate to others what I was not good at. Now, I love Richard Branson, but for me, I focus on the things that I'm good at, and I delegate the things that I'm good at as well. I'm not even near close to where Richard Branson is, but you don't want to just kind of get rid of the things that you don't want to do. For me, so for example, I'll give you a perfect example, is with my Infusionsoft campaigns. When I'm doing brand new campaigns that have all this automation and stuff, what I'm good at is figuring out how to build the campaign in the first place. And so what I do is I create the campaign, and then I also create the system for that campaign. Okay. also create the system to create multiples of that campaign. So whenever I have a new product or a new thing that goes out, literally I let my guys, my staff is doing the majority of the work, majority of the most important work. And they are awesome and I love them so much. And they do the majority of creating everything. The only thing I have to do is create the videos as far as it is right now, and then just a couple of different Infusionsoft tags, and that's it. And it used to take me 3, 4, maybe even 5 hours to set up these campaigns, and now my guys are doing it faster than I ever could. Okay, so delegate not only what you're good at and what you're bad at, but what you're good at too. So here's a very main point. You are good at business. Okay, outsource the rest. I'm good at figuring out how a sequence should go. I'm good at figuring out how to outsource in the first place. How to drop ship on Amazon in the first place. I created the entire way that my business drop ships on Amazon. And I created a course called Dream Dropshipping, which you might even be a part of that course. I don't even know. So I created how to go and do the drop shipping. I had the ideas for it and everything. And there's so many recurring tasks in there that I ended up outsourcing all of those tasks, all of the rest. I was good at figuring out the business side of things. So once it was all established, outsource that. Okay. So now my dropship business runs 100%, and yours can too. Your business, whatever it might be, can run 100%. Outsource as well. Okay. Outsource what is recurring and what is profitable. Okay. I can't tell you how many times whenever I'm on a coaching call or something like that, when it has to do with outsourcing, there's a product that a friend of mine we joint venture on called Joyproof, and it's really, really cool. And what happens is I do a 30-minute coaching call with people who get Joyproof, and one of the questions that always comes up is they ask, how can I get my virtual assistant that I'm going to hire? How am I going to get him to move on to these new things that'll make me money? And I always ask, well, what are you currently doing right now that's making you money? And it might be, I would say the vast majority of the time, it's someone who's doing private label on Amazon, who has their own product and they're doing private label. And so I'll start asking them questions like, do you do keyword research? Do you all do all this research for new products? Yes. Do you have to replenish your products all the time? Yes. Do you have to optimize your listings? Yes. Do you have to monitor your competition? Yes. All of those things are outsourceable. Okay, they are totally outsourceable. Keyword research, you give your guys a framework and they can go and do research to go and find products that are going to sell well on Amazon. You have your own system of how you're doing it in your head. Just you put it out into a process and you can get them doing that too. Same thing with online arbitrage. You can teach them how to do online arbitrage. Okay, you can teach them how to go find product online that's selling for $2 or $20 or whatever, and sell it for $40 online. Okay, you can teach them how to do all of that, and that's a recurring process, a thing you do all over and over and over again, and you can outsource that and scale it, which is extremely profitable. Okay, what's recurring often doesn't need you. Okay. What is recurring often doesn't need you. All right. If you're doing it over and over again, if you're doing keyword research over and over and again, if you are replenishing products, if you are searching all these different marketplaces for new products, and it's something that goes over and over and over again, it more than likely doesn't need you, and you can outsource that. Okay. Paradigm shift. All right. Focusing on what is recurring. As soon as you see something that's recurring, more than likely you can make a system out of it, a process out of it, and outsource the whole entire thing. For me, perfect example is I never thought I would be able to outsource my Infusionsoft campaign creation. Okay, especially for things where it's extremely complicated. But I've been doing it now for the past few weeks, and I have set up all these different systems, and it has been such a lifesaver and game changer. I literally have to do one or two things, and I have a full-on campaign made. Okay, and that's in Infusionsoft. That's in their campaign manager. So if you've ever messed with Infusionsoft, you know how complicated it can actually be. But I have it to where it's systematized, and my guys can do it. All of my guys can do it. Okay, and I have 3 people working for me just for my dropshipping alone, and they can do it because I have it all documented. What's recurring is usually scalable. This is the most important thing. As soon as you start outsourcing and cloning yourself and getting people to do what you're doing on a regular basis, you're building a scalable business. You're building a business that can be sold, which is important. Okay, that's the goal. Any business that's out there that's a real business can be sold. It becomes an asset, right? You don't want to be constantly having to work in there. No one wants to buy another business where they have to go and start doing work every day. Okay, they want a business that they can buy, turn the key, and it still goes. Okay, and what is recurring is usually scalable. Okay, keyword research is scalable. Ordering more product is scalable. Negotiating product pricing is scalable. Hiring is scalable. All those things are scalable. Okay. All right. So here's the deal. Couple of things that you just need to have as a paradigm shift. One, who is your clone? You need to be able to hire somebody, whether it's overseas or domestic. I'm not telling you where to hire from. There are plenty of places to hire from all around the world. Some are new and emerging markets. Some are older markets, and some are you can hire domestically. But who is your clone? What could you do with that clone? Okay, and what task could they take? And here's the thing: you need to be able to focus on business, focus on where you want to take your business next. When I hire my guys, when I hired the guys, the 3 guys working on my dropship business, I had them focusing solely on my dropship business first. And when that happened and all of the processes were in place, then I moved them to different things like Merch by Amazon, and then I moved them to Gear Bubble with a low-hanging system, and then I moved them to Infusionsoft, and I was able to move them to other things because I had them focusing on my recurring stuff, so then I could focus on my business, build other systems, and then they can move on. Okay, recurring doesn't need you. If you're doing something over and over and over again, even though it seems like it totally, absolutely requires you, more often than not, it does not. Okay, and anything that's recurring is going to be scalable, and that's where really the gold is. When your business is scalable, it becomes a real business. Okay, so start outsourcing now. It's really important that you look at that, because that's gold to me. If something is making money and it's recurring, generally that is going to be gold that you would be able to sell later on. Okay, as a business. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it kind of gave you at least a paradigm shift. This has been such an integral part of my business and how I run not only my business, but how I do even things in my family. And I want to be able to share that with you. If you want a free resource, it's basically a checklist / report that has a whole bunch of ideas. This is especially good for people who are selling on Amazon, people who are selling online. But I'm constantly adding to it all the time. So every now and then it'll be an updated version, but it's a checklist. It's kind of like a checklist / free report of all these different outsourcing ideas that you can do as kind of an Amazon seller, eBay seller, just an online seller in general. If you go to www.academytrainings.com /outsource, that's www.academytrainings.com /outsource, you will find that resource. And you can have that for free. It's absolutely awesome, and it'll give you a whole bunch of ideas, things that you can outsource in your business that you probably think that you couldn't. Okay, And that's where we all get hung up. So if you want that, it's a totally free resource. I'm going to be doing more videos like this, more tutorials. Some are going to be more paradigm shifts. Some are going to be actual tutorials on outsourcing in the future. But if this was super helpful to you, I'm glad. Leave a comment in the comments area, subscribe, all that stuff. And if you want this my free resource, my free ideas on what you can outsource, you can go to www.academytrainings.com/outsource. All right. This is Dean Soto with the Online Empire Academy, and have a great one. And I'll see you in the next tutorial.